Live from Paradise Studios in New York, Strong Island Television presents Under the Radar, starring Randy Unger. Brought to you by Magnitude Jewelry. Add a 2 to match your attitude. Tonight, Randy will be interviewing film festival producer and marketing consultant Eric Vollweiler. Randy will also be reviewing the new films Domino and Aladdin with special guest critics Jennifer Covey, Rob Harris, and Nick Commando. And now, here's your host, Randy Unger.
Hey guys, I'm Randy Unger, and this is another edition of Under the Radar, where we talk all things film. And right now I have with me Eric Vollweiler, a film festival producer and marketing consultant, joining us via Skype. Hello, Eric.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you today?
Good, thank you.
Yeah, this is great. So this is a new format. We've never done Skype on the show before, so this is very exciting.
This is my first time doing it as well.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, there you go. It's a mutual thing.
Yes.
Great. So tell us, what do you do, and what was it that first attracted you to the film festival world?
I think it was the clubs in Manhattan back in the 90s that I learned how to produce parties by sitting outside the China Club and the Tunnel and Nell's Sound Factory, till 7 or 8 in the morning, passing out flyers, doing mailings, and understanding like marketing of an event through the clubs.
All right.
When I started college, I went into school for theater, and I got involved with PR and marketing for plays. And I think between the clubs and PR and marketing for theater, that really found my passion. My next passion was film festivals. And so that's sort of the track that I went, and I love the marketing aspects. I think marketing is probably my favorite part. And what I do for work is basically sell sponsorships, advertising. I book entertainment professionals, and besides that, I do public relations, social media, and I also do production on film festivals.
That's awesome. And you know what? We have a short video that you provided for us, highlighting your work, what you do. So yeah, Ryan, if you could just pull up that clip. 1 second.
A film festival is a place where an independent filmmaker is honored and gets to show his or her work. And it's a celebration for the filmmaker. Working on film festivals gives me an opportunity to thank them for their films. My name is Eric Vollweiler. I work in the independent film industry by producing and marketing film festivals. A film festival comes together by a group of individuals who love film. And when it comes to services for the film festivals I work on, I sell sponsorships and advertising. I book entertainment professionals, do public relations, social media, and production on film festivals. Some of the film festivals that I've worked on include the Winter Film Awards and Indie Film Fest, the New York State International Film Festival, the Buffalo Niagara Film Festival, the Boston International Film Festival, and the Garden State Film Festival, Marina del Rey, Silicon Beach, Artemis Women in Action, and Seal Beach Film Festival. To this day, I've worked on about 20 to 25 film festivals. My role is important for a film festival because to have a film festival in general, you need money. My main focus is raising money by fundraising and financing film festivals. No matter little or big, my goal is to bring money to the table. I love interacting with people, and I am a people person. I think I learned that mostly from my dad and mom growing up. I enjoy working with people. I learn from people. And I feel that this makes me a successful person in what I do. I don't just do this for me in a job, but I do this for the filmmaker, for his or her experience of being able to screen their film on the big screen and to celebrate his or her work. That's the most important reason why I do this, because I respect and think that all filmmakers should show their story through a camera.
And there you have it, Eric Vollweiler. Fantastic video, very exciting stuff. I'm curious, what was the first festival you worked in?
It was actually when I was going to Emerson College in Boston. I was a volunteer at the Nantucket Film Festival in Massachusetts.
Nice.
Which is kind of funny because now I'm doing the Woods Hole Film Festival, which they're both in Cape Cod.
Oh, okay. Cool. I know
I'm
Cape,
right on that.
Cape Cod from I know Cape Cod from Splash, the Tom Hanks movie.
And then the second film festival, of course, was my volunteer work at Sundance back in 2002.
Okay. Cool. Now, in your opinion, what makes a successful film festival?
I think as the organizers and the producers and the people that put the film festival together really support the filmmakers and through promoting their films and their screenings. I think that's really important. I think also providing an atmosphere that's very comfortable, and because really it's, as my job is, it's not about me, it's for the filmmaker and the success that the filmmaker's film was chosen to be screened not just on the big screen but also with all the other winners that the programmer or the board decided to choose. And, I think overall, that's the most important thing, is really to focus on the filmmaker, his or her work, and really try to promote that to the media and public, audience, to get people in seats.
Okay. Now, I know PR is a very tough job. What are some of the challenges you face day to day?
I think, I think it depends on the film festivals. Like, for example, when I worked on the Long Island International Film Expo in Long Island, I'm competing against 3 or 4 other festivals, but of course the Hamptons has it all, right? The Hamptons is probably the most elite festival in Long Island.
Right.
So, they're going to get more PR than the Long Island International Film Expo, even though it's been a longer festival. But the Hamptons brings in a lot of celebrities and elitists, so that's what the media sometimes looks for. Okay. Or also, it's just trying to get the films out there. If there's a film that relates to the area or the environment where the film was shot, sometimes that is a little difficult because, you hope to get PR press for the films that are in the festival, but there's just so many films, and it really depends on the topic of the film.
Now, do you get starstruck? I know you're rubbing elbows with celebrities and talent all the time. Do you ever get starstruck being around all that star power?
No.
Okay, good.
When I was an intern at DreamWorks, again, I also was in the catering industry, which is funny. I worked for Wolfgang Puck, and in New York I worked for Glorious Foods, but I was around celebrities all the time, and I think my only time I got nervous was around Steven Spielberg at
Oh my God. What was that like? Where was that again?
That's his production company.
Oh, DreamWorks.
It's
Yeah.
at Universal Studios.
What was that experience like, just being in his presence?
It was interesting because it was a business meeting, and Steven had jeans and a flannel on, and everyone around him had like Armani, like $3,000 to $5,000 suits.
Right.
You can tell they were all bankers and investors.
That's
that
awesome.
just tells me a lot about Steven and how humble he is, and how he's just an amazing gentleman and a great man. So
I'm actually listening to a podcast right now called Blockbuster, which basically details the young life of Steven Spielberg and George Lucas, and how they met and their rise to stardom. So very cool that you met Steven Spielberg. So I'm curious, over the years, what are some of your favorite films you've seen at the festivals?
Oh, that's a good one. Now, when people always ask me about films, I love watching movies, don't get me wrong. And, there have been, over the years, there have been some great films. It's funny, when it comes to me and films at festivals, I'm never watching films. I'm actually more networking and outside and communicating with the filmmakers and other people that are at the festival. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, and people always ask, Eric, you work in the film industry, but you don't watch a lot of films. And the truth of the matter is, I love the business. I'm very much, that's my real passion, is the business of the entertainment and the film industry, the independent film industry. And I do want to watch more films at the festival, but I don't get a lot of time to do that.
Right. No, I hear you. What are some of your favorite films of all time? I ask everybody this, but what are your top 3 favorite films?
Dead Poets Society.
Ooh, nice.
Schindler's List. I always say that one because it relates to my family and my background. I would also say When Harry Met Sally. I just love that one.
I think that's my favorite romantic comedy ever. So yeah, those are some very interesting choices. Very great, very good choices, I must say. So Eric, what do you have coming down the pike right now? What do you have working on?
So my next festival is the Woods Hole Film Festival, which is July 27th through August 3rd, which is in Cape Cod.
Okay.
And right now it's kind of funny. I'm trying to find a sponsorship for the opening night film called Guest Artist, and the lead actor is Jeff Daniels. Is the lead actor in this film.
Nice.
So I'm working on trying to get a sponsorship for this.
Okay.
Then I have the Hip Hop Film Festival, which is August 1st through the 4th in Harlem, and I'm really excited about that one. That's going to be, it's actually, the focus is not on the music of hip hop, but actually the culture and diversity that surrounds filmmaking in hip hop. And I'm really excited about that.
That sounds awesome.
Then in September, I'm working with the Rubenstein Law Firm to do a series of educational panels at the Toronto International Film Festival.
Nice.
And so there'll be everything from women in film to production, international production. There'll be something on distribution, probably financing. And that's going to be in September at the Hilton in Toronto. So that's it's actually the first time. It's sort of like a conference set up more than a festival. But as you know, when you're booking speakers and you're putting, conferences are sometimes involved with film festivals. They're within. And then of course I'm doing my 3rd event in January at the Sundance Film Festival, which I'm really excited about. This is my 2nd event for Artists United, which they're based in Oakland, California.
Okay.
They're a non-profit organization that deals with not just filmmakers, but artists of all different genres, and they have over 35,000 members.
Oh my gosh. So you're definitely busy. I could see that. I'm just curious, how do you manage your time? Do you have an assistant? Do you have a team working with you to make all this happen, or how do you do it?
I wish.
Yeah.
I'm a multitasker. I don't sleep a lot. I think it's more about the passion and love about just, if I have a deadline, I need to get it done.
Right.
And it's just again, I still ask myself how I've been doing the last 2 or 3 years between 10 to 12 events a year.
Wow. Well, keep at it. You're doing a great job, obviously. And yeah, I want to thank you so much for your time today. This was great. This was very illuminating into your film festival world. And yeah, I wish you all the best, Eric.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Come back again soon, maybe in person next time.
I know, I got to get down there.
Yeah. You're always welcome.
Thank you very much.
All right. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
So guys, we're going to take a short commercial break, but we'll be back with more Under the Radar. Stay tuned.
Under the Radar is brought to you by Magnitude Jewelry Add a 2 to match your attitude. Patent pending, interchange genuine gemstone and crystal EMF protection jewelry. For more information, please visit magnitudejewelry.com/gemgirl or call 718-268-6634.
Hey guys, I'm Rob Harris.
Are we on?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry guys. Nature calls. Hey guys, welcome.
Hello.
Jennifer Covey, Rob Harris, and Nick Commando.
What's up, Randy?
I'm
who was
sorry about
definitely
that,
here the whole
everybody.
time.
I'm really sorry.
That part of the screen was a technical issue.
Yes. Technical bladder issue, but we're back. And we've got 2 films to talk about. But first, it's been a while since I've seen most of you, all of you. Ladies first, how are you, Jennifer?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Better now.
Okay, good.
Rob?
Yeah, I'm doing great.
Yeah?
Just finished my college semester and everything like that, and I
Okay.
did well, so excited about my break.
Sweet.
Yes.
Awesome. Mr. Commando.
I'm still alive.
Yes. Indeed we are. And we're live now. That's the most important thing right now. So yeah, guys, we got 2 films. Let's just dive right in. The first one is a Brian De Palma directed action thriller called Domino, and it basically focuses on 2 detectives. One gets slain in the line of duty, and his partner is basically out to get revenge. And there's this plot involving the CIA and a Libyan terrorist, maybe. Jennifer, what do you think of this one?
I hated this movie.
Wow.
I'll tell you why. One, to be fair, it's not really all the movie. I don't like movies like this. They don't hold my interest.
Gotcha.
I did think the cinematography was brilliant.
Okay.
I would look at it every once in a while and be like, as a shot, this
Yeah.
is beautiful.
Okay.
The storyline just didn't really compel me. It felt a little forced at times to
Okay.
me. Also, we were discussing it because we watched it together.
Mm-hmm.
Certain movies, like I feel like they'll add a lot of violence or like a lot of cursing just to like prove a point. And
Yeah.
in this case, I just felt like they were just doing it to do it.
Right.
It was some of the scenes, it wasn't pushing the storyline along at all.
Yeah. It was blatant, like,
Yeah.
gratuitous.
There
I
were
guess.
great, there were beautiful moments. I thought it wasn't the actor's fault. It wasn't anyone's fault. The script just fell a little short for me.
Yeah, and this is by a really great director. We have,
Yeah.
this is Brian De Palma, who's done Carrie, Dressed to Kill, The Untouchable, Scarface. Like, these are classic films.
Yeah, that's why I think the cinematography, and I don't think the direction was bad. I think it was just the script. It just didn't hold my interest.
It's a poor script. Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree with that one. Rob, what'd you think?
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't really captivated by it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I thought that, like I left feeling like kind of unfulfilled watching it. Like the thing I like most about films is the story, and I felt like I couldn't really take anything from this. I
Yeah.
didn't really learn anything. Also, one thing about the movie that I didn't appreciate, the music was like really dissonant. You know, the whole time, and it just watching it,
didn't
just felt
fit.
like uneasy the whole
Yeah.
time. You know?
Yeah.
It kind of felt like Bernard Herrmann, but like a forced rehash. I don't know. It just
Yeah.
didn't- I agree with you on that one.
But I do think that the actors did a good job. You know,
Yeah.
like I thought that they were good, and yeah, there were some really interesting shots in it.
I think the acting could have been better. I mean, I can't pronounce his name. Nick.
It could have been better, but I mean, it
Yeah.
wasn't bad. It wasn't like that one particular thing was really bad. It was just kind of everything was a little bit lackluster in some parts.
Yeah, I actually tried watching it one time. I shut it after like 10 minutes. But then I went back a few days later to revisit,
Okay.
and I thought it was decent. Like, it ended fairly well.
Alright.
The action sequences were well done.
Well, sometimes you have to watch something more than once to appreciate it.
fully
so.
absorb it. But Nick, what did you think?
So you said in your introduction of the movie that it was an action thriller. I have a question.
Yeah.
What part of this movie was thrilling?
I mean, it had some good suspense in it.
Where?
I agree. I agree. At the
Where
end,
exactly?
Wait.
Tell me where.
The stuff involving the terrorist cell.
Was that really thrilling? Was that really suspenseful?
I thought
the guy refused to serve people soda. Like, it was pretty obvious he wasn't there to do what he was supposed to do.
That was actually a really good scene, in my opinion, though.
Well, here's the thing. It was a well-made movie.
Well, I wouldn't go that far.
No. I mean, cinematography, like that stuff. I'm talking about like the actual construction of the film was well done.
Well, you've got a veteran filmmaker at the helm.
Right, exactly. And you could see that. You could see this wasn't like just a random indie project or something like that.
Yeah.
This had meat behind it. Everything else about it was just like meh. I enjoyed the music aspect of it because it kind of kept, because like the movies like this kind of fall into the idea of like, let's not have any music and just have like the gravitas of the scene carry it. Yeah. I enjoyed the music. I can understand why you wouldn't like it, but I enjoyed it because it made me feel like, oh, something's going to happen or like something is going on.
Which it never did some of the time.
Yes, exactly. Going back to the whole, how was this thrilling? Like, nothing really advanced all that much.
It's sad because you've got such a great cast. You've got I can't pronounce his
name.
The
acting felt. Just call him Jamie. Just call him Jamie Lannister.
Yeah, from Game of Thrones.
That's who he is.
Yeah,
that's who everyone's going to call him. He was Jamie Lannister with two hands. That's
and a much wasted Guy Pearce. I think.
I didn't even realize that was Guy Pearce at the end of the movie, and they said Guy Pearce was in this movie.
Right.
I didn't even know.
I think he was the most expensive actor in this movie.
He probably was.
Yeah.
He probably was. It was just very like, they did just enough to like have me sit there and go, okay, I'm going to keep watching this. Because a lot of the time, as you know, with movies that you send me, I'll tell you I got through half of it, I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
I watched this whole movie because there would be little things every so often where it's like, ooh, this is going to keep me watching. This is going to hold my interest.
Right.
At the end of it, it was like, I wouldn't go back to it. I don't really think I got anything out of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it was like, I think what really carried it for me was just the production value and everything that constructed
That's what I was
the
trying
movie,
to say
as opposed to the script and the acting.
It's got a good skeleton.
Yeah.
But the meat of it is kind of like scattered.
Yeah, basically.
Like I think the revenge plot was awesome, but then this whole stuff with the terrorist,
Well, then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, it's like your partner was cheating on his wife.
Yeah, well, that's what I was going to say.
With no spoilers, but yeah.
Like for someone like
with
me,
another former Game of Thrones character.
Sure, let's go with that.
If
it was Game of Thrones, except they were in Denmark.
If someone had if this movie had presented itself on its own, someone like me who doesn't typically watch movies like this, I probably wouldn't have. You asked me to, so I did.
This is not your style.
But every once in a while, I'll see a movie like this, and something interesting about it will keep me watching. If I wasn't watching it for you, I wouldn't find myself to continue watching it. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They didn't add anything for people who aren't into this kind of film. Like certain films will add another layer
Type
of something, or
subgenre.
like some kind of romantic part of it. That I didn't even care about the people that were having an affair in this. I was like,
there
who
was
cares?
sort of a romantic element.
Yeah, there was no other elements besides like blood and gore and finding a terrorist.
It's just a revenge movie, really.
The other thing too is like there wasn't action.
Yeah.
There wasn't a lot of action. It was
a
like
lot of running around.
Maybe the end of the movie.
And then
it was
hiding.
basically a driving movie. I felt like I was watching
Psycho.
or like.
I think the most thrilling aspect, there was that one scene with the terrorist woman who was just shooting people at this event.
Yeah, that was like.
And they did it from like a first-person perspective.
Yeah.
That was interesting.
Yeah,
That
there were cool moments like that.
But then, like at the, when they're on the building.
Yeah.
Right. Towards that part of the movie.
He just sneaks up behind the guy.
Yeah, and like it takes 50 years for the other henchman to be like, wait a minute, something's happening.
He just turns around.
Oh man.
Like, there's a guy over
and then the third guy who's controlling the thing is like, ooh, things are happening. and then the vendor guy is like, go away. They're like, we want soda. No.
Another thing is when people are dying or being attacked.
Yeah.
I typically will feel something for them. In this, I was like, oh, please stop. I didn't have any background story. There was no chemistry as the audience with the characters.
You don't sympathize with any of the characters.
No,
not even the hero.
Not even one of them.
Not even the guy in the coma.
I mean, but that would typically put me over in a movie. I'd be really hoping, was he gonna get out of the coma or not? In this case, I was like, oh God, just make it stop.
Yeah, and with Brian De Palma, I mean, he did The Untouchables, which is a great movie. The first Mission Impossible, which not a great movie either, but some really great action set pieces in that. So
but movies like this don't have to necessarily be good story-wise for you to enjoy them and want to go back to them.
Right.
And the problem with this movie is that the story isn't compelling enough to overcome the other
Right,
problems.
exactly.
It had potential, but
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah,
falls
they didn't
flat.
provide enough for
Yeah.
somebody to be hooked into it.
Yeah.
That wouldn't want to just see it for their
And
favorite
al-
actor or their favorite director
also-
or whatever.
And, yeah.
Where was Jamie Lannister supposed to be from?
Wait,
Was he
is that
English, or was he-
is that Nikolai Coster-Waldau?
Yeah,
Okay.
Jamie Lannister.
That was
Where-
my best attempt. I'm like,
Where was he supposed to be from? I couldn't
well,
figure out
they're in
his
Copenhagen.
accent.
That drove me crazy too,
Yeah.
though.
But is
because
he
his accent
Danish?
didn't feel.
Or is he English? Because he sounded like
no,
he
no.
was
With a name
try-
like that, he's not English. That's that's Eastern Europe.
That was
I think.
another thing that really bothered me. At one point, I asked him to turn it louder because I thought I couldn't hear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it was too low,
it
but
was
it
just
was
a dialect
full
and-
volume, and I still couldn't understand what some of them were saying.
Character-wise, where was he supposed to be from?
Which one?
Jamie Lannister. Where was he supposed to be from, character-wise?
Well,
is he supposed to be Danish? Because I don't think he was.
Well, it takes place in Copenhagen.
I think they're
that's
all
all they
supposed
say.
to be from
Oh, okay.
Copenhagen.
Yeah, yeah.
But what
Alright,
I'm saying,
cool.
I don't even mean their accents because you get
Yeah.
used to an accent. I mean, like they were rushing through some of the lines, and I was
Yeah,
like, I don't know what we had to
yeah.
rewind it a couple times to figure out what was going on.
He's Danish. Waldau.
Oh, is he? Okay, okay.
Yeah.
It just felt there was a disconnect for me, major disconnect.
It's sad. It had potential, but
Yeah, I
Could've
felt like
been
I'd
way better
seen
than
a
it was.
lot of stuff like that, prior to this and everything like that.
Right.
I'm like, this is nothing that I really
movies
have seen
like this
before.
need
Yeah.
people like us to promote them. But unfortunately, we're not given a glowing recommendation.
There are great movies like this, and there were beautiful parts of this film.
You
but
could
it
also
wasn't-
just watch it ironically because we're telling you that you should.
Yeah, that is true.
It's
You're
not
like,
an
what do
awful-
they know?
It's kind of a lackluster film, but it does have merit. There are
Right.
good scenes and decent performances.
It's not a typical under the radar film.
Right.
It's a step above that.
Oh wow. Okay. I'm surprised you said that.
Slightly.
Slightly. It's
Like don't get too
half
We
a
have-
bar.
we
like
have
here,
watched
here's
some
where
pretty bad ones,
Here's
I
where
will
the
say.
normal films are. Domino.
Yeah.
We watched some that were way higher than that, though.
Right.
Let's be real.
No, it's true.
This is on the lower half of the things you've sent me for sure.
Yeah. And also the title. Isn't there some copyright infringement? Because there was a Keira
Knightley film, right?
In 2005.
Yeah, I was like, wait, didn't they already make this movie
was
like
also a
15
dom-
years
yeah.
ago?
I was hoping
And
it was
Mickey
about
Rourke was in
pizza.
it?
Yeah. Was that before he became Frankenstein?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think it was after Frankenstein.
That was
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
He's just. Did we butchered Mickey Rourke's appearance a few times, huh?
Yes,
Yeah,
we did.
yeah.
Well,
What
no,
was-
I didn't. You guys did.
Also-
I tried to give him the benefit of the doubt.
Okay.
So did the boxers that he boxed, and then he got plastic surgery.
Yeah.
So.
It's bad plastic surgery.
Yeah.
Well, I could say that about a lot of people.
Terrible.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on, guys, to a much more enjoyable film, I'd say.
Yes.
We've got the Disney classic, the live-action Aladdin, and if you don't know the story, young street
Where
rat.
have you been?
Yeah,
Been
27
out
years.
since 1992.
Yeah, and the story's a lot older than that.
Oh, like 1,000 years old,
Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, Aladdin, he's a street rat. He comes across Princess Jasmine in the marketplace, and he is also conned into retrieving a lamp in the Cave of Wonders, which unleashes the genie, our favorite blue prankster, wisecracking genie. Would you like my?
Yes. I mean, honestly, like going into this film, I felt like everybody had something to say about the blue guy.
Yeah.
Like, oh,
Yeah.
yeah,
They
you
still
know.
do. I read some reviews afterwards.
Oh, really? Yeah.
I am a huge Disney person. You know that.
Cosplayer.
Nothing I love more than Disney. But even being in the musicals of it, dressing up as them, watching them, I just love them all.
Have you ever been Jasmine?
When I was a little kid, I dressed as
Nice.
Jasmine all the time. Not as in a cosplay situation.
Okay.
Maybe one day.
Yeah, now it's appropriation.
That's what I'd be afraid. I seriously have a
can't-
Jasmine costume.
off
But I'm
limits.
afraid to do something like that now. But besides that, I think that people are giving Will Smith a lot of problems that he doesn't deserve for this. I think that everybody's going into this trying to be Robin Williams.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's
I-
never
no.
going to be that. And it's unfair to take, you know what I mean? We've had so many, we've had the musical version.
Yeah,
There have
that's
been
true.
TV shows.
That's
Not
true.
everybody's going to be Robin Williams. And if there was another role that Robin Williams hadn't been in, people wouldn't be doing this to him. And I think that
Mm-hmm.
he brought his own spin to the character. And I think that, no one's going to be as good as Robin Williams.
No, that's very true. Well, I think Dan Castellaneta, who's the voice of Homer Simpson, he was in Return of Jafar. Or the second one, Return of Jafar, and I think he did his best Robin Williams impression. And just after Williams' performance in the '92 film,
Yeah.
the bar is so high. Like,
But that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think Will Smith went into this being like, I'm going to act like Robin Williams. I think
Yeah.
he went in as Will Smith, and I think that was a good move. I really do.
but there were moments where he kind of echoed Williams.
Right, but what I'm saying is
well, you
I
have
think
to.
that
Yes.
pairing him is
Yeah.
unfair. I think
know,
that's unfair.
but I got sad every time I saw the first time I saw him come on screen. I was like, uh-oh.
Right, but if Robin Williams hadn't died, you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? If he were still around,
He would have been in this movie.
I don't know
there
if he
was-
would have been though, because they were casting only based on
Gilbert
ethnicity.
Godfrey.
they didn't have
I
him.
would
Yeah,
like to
that's
see
true.
him.
They
You know?
purposely
That
said
would've
they
been
were
good.
only casting people of African descent or Middle Eastern or Indian descent. They weren't putting anybody else in this film. The only person that's not is the person who does the voice of the cave, because he's the original
And
person.
Smith and the girl from
Yeah, but Will
SNL.
Smith is
Yeah, but
black.
Will Smith is
So what I'm saying is
African-American.
Robin Williams may not have been a part of this, and it's unfair to take. He might have put his blessing on this. He might have loved it, and it's
Yeah.
unfair to be like, well, he's not Robin Williams, but Robin Williams might not have even been in it. So,
True. It's hard to say what could have happened
Yeah.
if he were alive.
but I thought Will Smith added kind of like a New York Fresh Prince kind of hip hop vibe to it, and I kind of liked it.
Well,
so.
and the-
Yeah, they did make it a very hip hop character.
Yeah, and the dance
Yeah.
sequences, he's
But I thought
singing.
that changed it up a little bit.
Yeah.
It's a different take on it.
It is a different take, but it's very similar to the film, the
Yeah.
92 version. Rob, what do you think of this
Yeah,
one?
I liked it. I mean, I also like the way that they like humanized the genie. You know what I'm saying?
okay.
Like kind of added a little bit more background to him, which
Yeah.
is cool. The take on Jafar, I thought was interesting. Like he seemed like more of an
He was
unstable.
psychotic.
Yes,
Yes.
yes, that's
We
what
were
I'm getting
talking
at.
about
He
that,
seemed
yeah.
like really
He seemed-
He's
unstable.
just like a mentally
Like,
unstable.
oh, I gotta be
seemed-
number one.
he
Like,
seemed
Isn't that what
mentally
Jafar
ill.
was in the 92
He
film
was,
too?
but it
No,
like
he
fit
was-
his persona.
He was evil
yes,
in the
yes.
Right.
the movie,
Evil.
the original one. He
But
was
this
evil,
was different.
Yes.
But he also seemed like in the cartoon, he seemed like he had worked his way up as a politician and was good at manipulating. This guy seemed like when you weren't looking, he stabbed you, literally.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it was a
Yeah.
little more.
Yeah.
Menacing in a way.
Yeah, but
just different takes.
The cartoon one was like more manipulative in like in a positive way. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like he was kind of talking everybody into what he wanted.
Right.
This
He's-
one, it just felt like I'm going to kidnap this guy and just take him out somewhere.
Yeah.
They should do like a Jafar backstory.
That'd be
movie. That'd be
interesting.
very.
That would
you
be
know,
cool.
Like his rise up in
Yeah,
the
yeah,
ranks.
yeah.
How he meets the Sultan. And,
Right.
Anyway.
And they also lost a good opportunity, as I think you said, to like show a little bit of, maybe it wasn't you, somebody was talking about this with me,
What?
to show a little backstory of Jafar.
Yeah.
See, at one point he says like, I was you once, and then we dropped that entirely,
Yes.
and like
Ah, yeah, yeah,
we
yeah.
lost a little bit of opportunity
his
there.
relation with Aladdin and how
Yeah.
they're like on
Yeah.
the same level at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. Nick, what'd you think?
Well, this movie was very meh to me. Like I
Yeah,
felt
yeah.
it made me feel
Can't please
things.
him.
Definitely made me feel things, which I always love and really hate because emotions are annoying. But the thing, just to go back to Jafar real quick, because I thought of this and I didn't want to interrupt anybody. Jafar in the '92 film is kind of like deliciously evil.
Yes.
Where it's like you're like, ugh, like, oh, you're
He's
I
your
hate
classic
you.
villain.
And in this one, he's just like, ah!
Yes.
He's just like a nut job.
He
Who's
is.
just so psychotic and so hell bent on getting what he wants.
Yeah.
He's willing to do whatever he wants, but he's already gone off the deep end way back in the past.
Yeah.
Like he's been in the deep end for the past like 10 years, and he's just swimming in circles, laughing maniacally.
And if they
That's basically what he does in this movie.
100% agree with you.
And
and if they did that in the '92 version, it would have not gone so well. I
that
think.
that and the other thing too is one our mutual friend Vinny, he said that he hated the way the guy portrayed Jafar. He said the guy
interesting.
sucked. That was literally his words. And I kind of understand that. He really overplayed the character. Like the problem with this movie is the genie was literally written for Robin Williams. I've read multiple articles where
Yeah,
if
they
they
even
didn't
animated
get Robin
him.
Williams,
Yeah, they drew him
they weren't going. They didn't have a character.
they also let him.
They let him do whatever he
I heard
wanted.
about that.
They
So
basically
They literally
animated
just put a
over his
microphone
voice.
in front of him and
Yep.
said,
Yeah.
"Okay, go be you."
Yeah.
And that's the other problem. You're not like number one, Robin Williams is dead. Number two, he's not going to be on this project because of the restrictions that they put on themselves ethnically on who they were going to hire.
Right.
If they hired Robin Williams. If Robin Williams was still alive and they hired him for this film, the backlash would be insane.
Exactly.
Because he would literally be the only white guy in this movie.
I absolutely
and
agree
you
with
would
you.
physically be
Oh, wait a
able
minute,
to
yeah.
see it.
Wait, who's
because
the girl in what's her name?
Nasim Pedrad?
Yeah, from SNL. Is she of?
She's
Indian.
She's some
She's
sort.
some-
Yeah, she's not white.
They gave Naomi Scott a hard time because her father is British Indian.
Yeah.
Okay.
And she was playing
She's from
Jasmine,
London.
and they thought that they should get a Middle Eastern, 100% Middle Eastern
That's
woman
stupid.
to play the role.
No, that's just racist.
But she's,
Well, that's the
she's
thing is,
but
like-
she was fine. Like there was
I thought
nothing
she did
wrong with her
phenomenal,
casting.
and I
good.
think that she
And
played
also-
it well. Yeah.
And not to go down a rabbit hole, but she also wasn't like, light skinned or something.
Right.
You
Exactly.
know, like
And Agrabah's not a real place.
complexion wise,
so-
it was like it made sense. It
Yeah.
wasn't like she was like, oh yeah, no, my mom's side is Indian, but she's super duper white.
Right. No.
It's like, what are you doing?
Yeah, she's
But-
got that complex, like, you know.
There would be a huge backlash for Robin Williams to be in this character in this version of the film. Plus, he set such a high bar.
Yep.
There's nobody could recreate that.
That's what I was
Robin
saying before,
Williams
yeah.
couldn't even recreate it
because of this-
the things that he would have to do. Like you have to remember too, they put a microphone in front of him and just drew what he
Yep.
was doing.
Right.
Yep.
How do you CGI that?
Yeah.
Like the running around and all the stuff he
it
would
would
do.
be Williams in motion capture, like what Smith was in.
Right, but the whole thing with that is there'd be so much movement and everything. It would
Yeah.
I feel like at some point we get like clunky or something, or you'd have to scale back at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or something
And you
wouldn't
can't tell Robin
translate
Williams to just
properly.
cool it.
And
Right,
Robin
exactly.
Williams was cartoony, which I think
Yeah.
worked for
Yeah.
the cartoon, but I'm kind of glad that they didn't make the genie totally cartoony.
Yeah,
Right.
in this.
exactly.
This is like a live action. You can't
And
do that in real life.
And it was
Right.
basically how I would expect Will Smith to play the genie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're going to do a couple things to harken back to Robin Williams doing it.
Yeah.
But most of it is going to be wisecracking and being a smart ass because that's effectively what the genie is.
Right.
He's just so funny and charming and affable in the way he does it that you almost forget.
Like, would you have envisioned another actor playing the genie? Aside from
The-
Williams and
the-
Smith.
Aside from the guy who was in the Broadway show, probably
I was
not.
gonna say, if I were gonna pick somebody to be in this that wasn't Will Smith,
Yeah.
or somebody of that caliber, I would pick somebody that had been in the theatrical
Interesting,
version,
yeah, that makes
because
sense.
I think that the genie has to carry a lot of the music, which Will Smith did fine
Will Smith
on.
did
Yeah,
a fine
no.
job
Yeah, he
because
did-
they hip-hopified
Right,
it enough
exactly.
where
But I mean, like, if you're going
he
to
can
do
get
something like
through
that,
it.
you need somebody who's going to be able to be that theatrical.
Yeah.
And having done both musicals and film myself, I can tell you it's a totally different style of acting.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So if you're going to want it to be crazy, then you'd have to pick a theater person to do that.
What did you guys think of the two leads, Aladdin and Jasmine?
I thought Aladdin
they were
was
great.
phenomenal.
Yeah, Aladdin and Jasmine were both
I
very
thought he
good.
was serviceable. I didn't.
No,
think
I mean, I think when I look at him, he
Yeah.
looks like Aladdin to me. I thought his voice sounded exactly like the original,
Oh,
which
so
is
was Scott Weiner?
well, Scott Weiner was the actor.
He was
can't
the
think.
voice.
Begins with a P. I can't think of the guy that sings it, but he vocally sounded
Okay.
exactly like him.
Huh.
Peabody or
Oh, I
I
don't
can't
have
think of his
that.
name.
I don't have it in my notes.
But the vocal singer, I thought he did a great job singing it.
Yeah.
He didn't oversing it. My favorite song in the entire show was the first one that he sings, the Street Rat one, because I felt that he
ahead of the thing.
yeah, that one. The reason I liked that so much was because it didn't feel like let's stop and sing, which a
Yeah,
lot of musicals did.
it did flow.
It felt like he was just speaking and we were just listening to it with music.
And I love the revamped versions of
Yeah.
these classic songs.
What I didn't like, and has nothing to do with the music, because Alan Menken wrote the song,
yeah.
was Jasmine's song. I felt like that was like, let's write a song and throw it in the
They
new
threw
film.
in two songs that sounded very similar.
Well, it was. One's the reprise of the other, so it's
oh,
the
it's
same
the
song.
same song.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha.
But that didn't feel like it flowed. Do you know what I'm saying? Not that it wasn't a beautiful song, not that she didn't sound phenomenal. It just felt like
Tacked on.
It felt like it was added in.
I agree with you. I feel like it didn't fit like with
Yeah.
the rest of
Yep.
the movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was kind of like they wanted to put like an empowerment moment in there too.
Yeah.
But there's
like-
so many great empowerment songs in the
Yeah.
Broadway version that
Yeah.
they didn't put in this. They
They
wrote
should've.
this
I didn't know
song
that.
specifically for
Okay.
this movie, but they could have pulled any of Jasmine's songs from the
Yeah, it's all
Broadway
under
show.
Disney.
They also tend to ignore like the Broadway versions of stuff because there's been a Broadway version of like every Disney film.
Yeah,
pretty
but,
much.
Yeah.
but I mean, like, if you're gonna
So-
pull a song, pull one that is good. Don't rewrite a
Yeah.
whole new
Yeah.
song and throw
Yeah.
it in. It sounds different musically.
Just give someone new a job,
Yeah.
a chance to shine.
Right.
Nassim Pedrad was also very good, and I didn't even realize she wasn't a character in the,
She's
in
not
the
in the
animated
original,
film. I
and
didn't realize that.
and I loved
And I was
that.
like,
She
that
was
was
good.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, she had servants in the cartoon.
Yeah, but
they
that's
didn't
what
have
I
a
was.
big
what,
part.
what I
Not
was
in the
saying about
film, though.
Domino
Right.
before is that there
Yeah.
was like no other layer. Having that handmaid and her chemistry with Will Smith
Yeah.
really added a second storyline.
It was cute.
which
It
I never
really
knew I
worked.
needed in that. But
And another side thing is Jasmine's like desire or passion to be Sultan. That was awesome. That was total
Which actually
female empowerment.
was great because in the animated movie,
Yeah.
she's kind of getting at that. They didn't outright say that.
Yeah.
But Jasmine was very like kick-ass in the
Yeah.
in the animated movie. You know, she's not.
She could handle herself.
Yeah, she's not like a princess. Like I'm waiting for my prince.
Right.
Yeah, I remember she says like, "I'm not a prize to be won."
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So they
She's
were
got
able.
a friggin' pet tiger. I mean, come on.
They were able to like live action that concept and make it more adult, which I thought was really great too.
It was one of those times where like the attitude of the era that we're in, where the film gets produced and made, really benefits the film because.
But it wasn't. Sometimes that feels contrived.
Exactly,
and
and
this
it doesn't.
didn't because
It doesn't.
the original there was like that kind of underlying, but they were able to put it in. You know, I don't want to spoil anything at the end, but like she's able to show that she can rule a country. It was nice.
Right.
So what do you guys think of all these remakes, these reboots, these
I was talking
live actions?
I was talking to Jen about this as the credits were rolling when we were sitting watching Aladdin in the theater, and I was saying that I think that like movies in general are like an interesting part of our culture. You know, like things like this are being remade. Culture is recycling itself.
Yeah.
It's kind of nice. I mean, like you're experiencing like layers upon layers of emotion. Like you're seeing something that you lived.
I mean,
as
it
a
is
kid.
recycling.
It is amazing to me though, and we were talking about this after the movie ended. There was a little girl sitting next to us who has no idea we're talking about her right now, but she's probably about 7 years old.
Yeah,
she came dressed in a full Jasmine outfit, which was the same outfit that I had when I was her age.
Yeah.
And I looked at Rob and I was like, it's amazing to me that this same story that's been being told for 1,000 years is still keeping the interest of little kids everywhere.
Yeah.
And that's the power of cinema. That's what movies like this should do.
Right.
Even though it is recycling and it is kind of cheap and cheesy.
I will say I'm a little bit like I don't love all of these remakes because I feel like Disney is producing them faster than they're writing new stuff, which I don't like.
We just had Dumbo. We've got
too much.
got
Mulan's
Aladdin.
coming up.
Yeah, and we've got a Lion King.
Yeah.
This is 4 in 1 year.
It's too much. They need, if they were making one every couple years,
Yeah,
I would
or
be,
two a year.
Yeah, I would be
Cap it off at 2.
fine with that, but I feel like eventually we're going to be like, okay, let's make Moana the live action, even though it just came out a couple years
And
ago.
let's do Moana 2 live action. You know.
It's a little bit too much.
It's-
but
yeah.
I'll always see them because I'm a Disney cult member basically at this point. But
I think Aladdin's probably my favorite Disney
I think that's the best live
Tie
action
between-
they've done in a while.
No, the animated, I mean.
I love the animated
Anime
too,
is my
but
favorite. It's tied with The Little Mermaid. Which,
Little Mermaid's great. They're holding off on making a live action of that though because
that's
there's
gonna be-
too many people that want to be Ariel and they're
Amy Adams. No, she's too.
no, they people are really like want Ariana Grande to do it, but I think she's too popular right
No,
now.
thank you. I mean,
That's the
she
big
could
one.
sing and do some.
Right, but I'm saying there's
Remixes.
too much there's too much controversy surrounding that Little Mermaid, so that it's gonna be a while before we get
I
that
don't want
one.
to watch a girl who looks like she's 12 fall in love with a guy who looks like he's
Well,
twice
Ariel
25.
is 16.
Yeah.
All right, I didn't need to
And
know
Eric's
that.
what, 21?
He's 21. She says it.
Why'd you have to tell me
She
that?
says I'm 16.
I don't remember this stuff. The last time I saw Little Mermaid, I was like 15.
Probably saw it about like 3
I was
months
younger
ago.
than Ariel.
But
Oh, so,
you know, they're gonna do Mulan at the end of this year.
that should be cool.
Well, they're going to do a total. Mulan's my favorite, but they're going to do a totally different take on it. It's not going to be the musical version. They're doing it based on the actual folklore.
Nice.
So it'll be
Very
totally
excited about
different.
that. Yeah.
Isn't that the route they took with Cinderella, the Kenneth Branagh version?
Yes,
was
but this is going to be
So good.
Yeah.
Nobody ever talks about it.
The
Good.
problem,
Check it out.
problem with, well, first, the problem with these films is, like, it's good and bad because on one side it's like, why is Disney not making anything original?
because they know this is going to get money
well,
from them.
that's where I was going to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they know it's going to make money, so like that's why they keep cranking out these remakes because everyone's going to go see it.
Yeah.
Oh, I saw Aladdin when I was 5. I can't wait to see the live action
Yeah.
version.
Which is what I did.
And you could even make the argument that Disney really isn't making anything original because the Marvel universe is based off of comics.
And Star Wars is kind
And
of
Star
regurgitating.
Wars is regurgitating
yeah.
something that was done 40 years ago.
It's
so
sad.
it's the problem with movies today is that nobody's willing to take a risk and see if something's going to work. Everything is comic book property based, or it's a remake of something, or it's a reboot of something, or it's something we've already seen with a different flavor on it because movie studios know it's safe and they're going to make at least they'll at least break even.
Unless you go the film festival route, because I was just at Tribeca and they some phenomenal like small films.
Right.
That's where the true story and art takes place.
Right, but that's the problem. Like,
yeah, but nobody knows about them.
right,
here's the
like
thing is, like,
Paramount and Disney and
always
all those
pulled-
companies are not buying those films.
No, definitely not.
Yeah,
It's
well,
sad.
they're not doing that at all. But Disney
Yeah.
always pulled old fairy tales,
Yeah.
and they're not even doing that anymore.
Right.
So, like, in a 2022 or something, they were supposed to start making a Jack and the Beanstalk
Cool.
animation.
Didn't they do one a couple years back?
No, not as an animation. Not like
it was live
like
action.
how
Jack the
Aladdin
Giant
was like
Slayer,
a
I
1,000-year-old
think,
story, or Beauty and the Beast is from the 1800s. Like
Right.
they were going to take the Jack and the Beanstalk and Disneyify it.
Okay.
How we have all those ones from the 90s.
They did
but
that
they
with-
scrapped that idea.
Yeah.
Which
Well,
I think is
they
stupid.
did that a long time ago with the Mickey Mouse version. Remember that one?
Yes, that one. Yes,
That
but
was
I mean, like,
awesome.
if you think about it, Cinderella, Sleeping Beauty, Peter Pan, those are all based on novels
Right.
and stories from usually from about the 17 or 1800s.
Right.
Jack and the Beanstalk would have fit into that. Little Red Riding Hood would fit into that. Those are all fairy tales that they could really make into a Disney thing, like they did with
Yeah.
Frozen as the Snow Queen, but
So
they're
you're
not
talk-
doing that.
You're saying they should have a second Renaissance?
Yes, the
Yeah.
Disney Renaissance
That
was in the
was
90s.
so
It was
good.
good.
Yeah.
And now what's amazing for them monetarily is that when you think of Cinderella,
Yeah.
do you really think of the Grimm's fairy tale version or do you think of the Disney version?
Definitely Disney.
So if you took Jack and the Beanstalk or Little Red Riding Hood and you changed it into a Disney version of it, we would start assuming it was Disney. Kids would be like, "Oh, that's a Disney movie," but
Yeah.
they're not taking that opportunity, which I think is
I
kind of
think
silly.
the last chance they did that with was the Tiana,
Princess and the Frog.
Yeah, that
well,
was
no,
the last-
Frozen. The snow is the
Frozen
Snow
was
Queen.
more of the original one, and yeah,
That's it.
Yeah, but think about-
originality's gone out the window. We
Yeah.
know this.
Yeah, think about how many films are just retreads compared to something original that was
Yeah.
a hit like Frozen. Like Disney has the ability to literally take almost anything,
Yeah.
original or not, and just spin it into
they're
gold
not. It's all
because of the
sequels
marketing
and
and the
reboots.
characters.
Right.
And the
Well,
story.
even Coco, which they came out with what,
Yeah.
2
Oh, that
or
was-
3 years
that
ago,
was- yeah.
was a great movie.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah,
feel
I
like
like
it didn't
it a
get the accolades it deserved because it wasn't.
And even I think Pixar is. I mean, Pixar has been very original.
Well, now they're doing
Pixar
Toy
has
Story
said that
4.
But they're doing all
After-
these sequels. Incredibles 2 was an incredible letdown, in my opinion.
Pixar has said though, I read a headline that said that they were planning on doing original stuff after Toy
Yeah.
Story 4. Like they're
They
not going to
should.
do reboots anymore.
They shouldn't even done a Toy
Yeah.
Story 4. They
Toy
capped
Story
it.
4, they should have captured
3
it.
was perfect.
3 was the best ending of a trilogy I have
Yeah.
ever seen in my life, and they
It's
just
sad.
were like, "Oh, let's do this." For cartoons, have
No,
you
it
seen a
left
better
them.
trilogy?
I'm not saying it was bad. I'm saying they left them with a new kid. So like, how could you not?
But just leave that to
You
the
have to
imagination.
tell-
Yeah,
Don't
exactly.
continue it. And,
Yeah, but
I don't.
people are still going to go buy it.
Yeah.
That's what it comes
Well,
down
that's
to.
what it's exactly.
They can still make money off the property. That's what they're going to do.
I mean, I want to see another Up, another Monsters Incorporated. Like those are original, you know.
Yeah.
But they're
Agree.
gonna come up with a sequel to Up called Down. I don't know.
I'm waiting for the next. My guess for
Up
the
to
next.
Mr. Fredrickson
Yeah,
Dies.
the next, level.
live action
Russell
that's
has to
going
go
to
choke
happen. They haven't announced it. There's
Well.
no word of it. This is my prediction from studying Disney all day long.
Uh-huh.
Hercules is going to be the next live action they announce. That's
Didn't
my
they do
guess.
that with The Rock a couple years ago?
No,
Yeah,
I
but
mean
that was
like a
like an
Disney
action-
version.
a Disney
like,
version, yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
like with the muses singing and all that. That's going to be the
I mean,
next
Danny
thing they do.
DeVito's still alive, so
Yes.
why the hell not?
I mean, it's kind of a sore topic right now, but the Hunchback of Notre Dame.
They're not going to do that
Yeah.
though because one, because of what happened, and
Right.
two, because people are trying to push that onto Broadway.
That'd be great, though.
Yeah, there's a Broadway version out, but it hasn't been picked up by Broadway.
I think that's my last favorite Disney Renaissance movie.
Hunchback?
Yeah.
Really? You
I
don't
thought it
like Tarzan or Mulan? or
Tarzan
any
was
of those?
good animation-wise, but the story kind of fell flat for me.
Okay. What about Lilo and Stitch? That's Renaissance.
Was that part of the?
Yeah, that's the very last
I thought
one.
Tarzan was the last one, or
No,
and then you
because 2000 was Lilo and Stitch,
Atlantis.
and that's the last one.
What's the one? Atlantis. Oh, what's it?
Yeah, I know which one you're
no, that's
talking about.
before. That's
The
that
Lost
might
Empire.
be considered
Yeah.
part of it. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Mulan was 98, and Tarzan was 99.
So did it continue? It continued up until.
Lilo and Stitch was 2000, and that's when it's considered the end.
Would you say Princess and the Frog is the last?
That's the last
Renaissance.
No, that's not part of the Renaissance. That was 2009.
It's like the last hand-drawn
It's
one
the
or
last
something.
hand-drawn one, but
That's
it's
it.
not part of the Renaissance.
What is the last Renaissance one?
Lilo and Stitch.
Lilo and Stitch, 2002.
Yeah.
Which was pretty good actually.
Yep.
Not my favorite, but.
But I mean, then they started doing all these weird, like they did like Bolt and they did Meet the
Yeah.
Robinsons.
Those are all-
And there was like this era of 10 years
CGI /
that it was
hand-drawn.
like they were just like, let's throw
Yeah.
a story out there, and some of them are okay.
Right.
Meet the Robinsons was kind of cute, but it wasn't like
Music by Danny Elfman.
Hercules. You know what I'm saying? It didn't
Right.
have that powerful.
Well, the other thing
That's the
too is you can't, like, not everything you throw out there is going to be a hit, and
No.
you know, I kind of think the movie business and entertainment to a degree is very cyclical. where you're gonna have times where everything is great, but you're also gonna have times where everything is like
think
subpar.
about this though. What you're saying is 100% correct, because if you even look at Disney,
Yeah.
they were like knocking them out of the park in the 50s. You got Cinderella, Sleeping Beauty, Peter Pan, 101 Dalmatians. Then there was a time like the dark ages
Like
of
the
Disney,
70s and 80s.
The 70s. I
Yeah.
mean, what, the Rescuers, not
I
the
think
Down Under, the
I think
original
it was
one.
just Robin Hood and the Rescuers.
No, there was like 10 films in there that nobody talks about because
Yeah.
they're not good. And then all of a sudden, 1989, they made The Little Mermaid, and it was
Yes.
like, boom, we're going to knock out great things again. So I'm wondering if they're going through that right now, and then come the 2020s, they're going to like pop them out.
It also
a second
depends.
coming.
I think the generations too have something to do with it.
Yeah.
Because I think our generation has, and I'm pretty sure everybody on this panel is kind of close to my age. I think we all kind of have very wide, expansive imaginations where this stuff really resonates with us because we kind of understand the message.
Yeah.
Even at a young age, we get it. You know, like we watch it when we're 6 or 7 and we enjoy it, but then we watch it when we're 26 or 27 and we enjoy it again for completely different reasons.
Right.
Like for Aladdin, for me, the story that they tell at the end, which, you know, listen, this movie to me is spoiler proof because if you haven't, it's a complete remake of the animated.
Yeah.
What Aladdin does at the end with the genie resonated with me so
I loved
intensely
that.
because it's just
It's beautiful.
he doesn't have what he wanted anymore.
Yeah.
And there's no guarantee that Jasmine's going to take him back or anything after everything that happened.
Yeah.
And he still sacrifices that third wish and just says, you know what?
That was actually, I almost
You know
teared
what?
up a
I'm going
little
to set
bit.
you.
Yeah.
I literally did tear up.
I got chills during that
Smith's
part.
I
Yeah.
acting
sat
chops in
there
that scene?
and
Yeah.
I
Awesome.
literally like got tears in my eyes and I was like, why? I hate this. But it's such a nice story because you still see that Aladdin's still pure on the inside.
Yeah, when he
cares about
leaves,
people around.
that
He's a
moment
true
when he
friend.
leaves the palace, not knowing what's going to happen, and just
Yeah.
walks back into the crowd, that was like, I felt like that was like a real life
And
scenario.
the crowd
'cause-
doesn't react to him at all. Like
No.
he's
Yeah.
back to being a nobody.
Right.
And he seems content with it too. Like he doesn't look sad. He doesn't look depressed. He's just like, all right, Abu, back to,
Stealing
go
stuff
steal
off
some
the
bread.
street, yeah.
Indeed.
And then Jasmine runs back out and, rest is history.
Well, hey guys, we only have about 3 minutes.
Okay.
So some plugs. What's going on in our lives? What projects you working on?
I'm actually not working on anything directly right now. I will be directing 2 shows over the summer.
Cool. Good.
And I'm auditioning for stuff, so hopefully I'll be doing,
Yeah.
some of my own stuff I
Princess
can plug.
Jasmine.
I'm still doing the stuff at the hospital where I
right.
visit the kids in costumes.
Oh,
So
that's awesome.
anybody wants to see me dressed as Disney princesses, you
I have
can.
to talk to the Ghostbusters about that.
Yeah.
Because I'd love to.
Love to have
That'd
you.
be awesome.
Yeah, they're into the superheroes now at the hospital, so
Nice.
now
They're
I'm
close enough to see.
Yeah, no, they love stuff like that because they get tired of just the Disney princesses over and over,
Nice.
So we're thinking about doing like a Spider-Man, Spider-Girl kind of thing, Captain Marvel, like all those things. So if anybody wants to see me dressed up, you can follow me at j.co100 on Instagram. All my cosplay stuff on there.
Yay.
So.
Cool. Rob, anything going on?
I just want to soak up some good stories, read a couple books before, my next semester and catch up on some good films.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
When does The Irishman come out?
I think. When is that coming out? Summer, I want to say.
I hope so.
I just know I'm
looking
just
forward to
focusing
that.
on the Tarantino film. What am I? Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Okay.
That's what I'm really.
Okay.
You gotta have Vinny on when Irishman comes out because he was like on set when they were filming it.
Oh, really?
Wow.
Yeah, he's friends with one of the venues.
That's awesome.
Irishman's fall.
Fall? Okay,
Fall,
God.
award season push.
Thank you, Ryan.
Thank you, mysterious intern.
Yes, it's the power of Oz.
Pay no mention to the man behind the wall
Yes.
you actually see.
Thank you for saying that.
Nick, what do you got going on?
We'll eventually release more episodes for the wrestling podcast about wrestling.
Cool.
I'm on Twitter and Instagram at Nick Commando. I am still working on a movie-related podcast because I've seen no movies, and I'm watching them and talking about them. That'll come out at some point when I figure out a new platform for them. And I have a baseball podcast that I'll eventually do stuff on too. So
Oh, that's cool.
I'm eventually going to do things.
You know what?
Best way to plug things.
Yeah.
I'm eventually going to do a thing.
That's how I feel.
I could do these things. I will do these things.
But first, a sandwich.
Yes. Ooh, that sounds good. It's funny you mentioned baseball because I actually just interviewed Robert Wool of Arliss fame. I don't know if you, sports guy. No, no one.
No
okay.
idea.
I thought you would have known.
What does he
that.
do? What is
He's an actor. He was on the show Arliss. He created and starred.
What's
in it.
Arliss?
Arliss was a show about a sports agent.
Oh, okay.
On HBO. It was from the 90s.
Oh yeah, no, I didn't have cable when I was a kid. So
Okay.
I don't know.
But
Too busy watching Disney movies
Yeah, me too.
on VHS.
And Hook and Batman Returns.
I believe I've said on this show, my parents would have a friend of theirs tape The Sopranos and then watch it when my brother and I were asleep. All right. I was like 12 or 13
great.
and probably, wouldn't have had any problems watching it. So.
Nice.
Also, they did not spring for cable. So.
Oh, okay. That's a show I need to get into. See the reruns.
It's good. It's
Well, they're making a movie about it, so you kind of have to
It's
at
a
this point.
prequel, right?
Saints of Newark, yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to see that.
Well, some plugs from Magnitude Jewelry, our wonderful sponsor. We basically have the July 28th is the Awaken Fair at the Roger Smith Hotel, and there's another event coming up, but I'll mention that on my social media because I don't have it listed here. But guys, I want to thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having us.
Great show as always.
I'll always come to talk about Disney. So.
Yes, maybe for the Lion King.
Yeah.
Could talk about Nala in some way.
Exactly.
I thought the tiger's name was Nala. And then
Raja.
I realized that was
Raja, Nala.
Yeah, and then I realized, I was like, wait, that's the Lion King, you dope.
Close enough.
The inner monologue of Nick Commando.
Indeed. Well, guys, thanks again. You're always welcome. And we'll be back next week with more Unger the Radar. I'm your host, Randy Unger. And take care, guys. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Under the Radar is all new next week with more movie reviews and interviews on Strong Island Radio and Television. Stay tuned. We'll see you next week.